year.
Okay, this was the actual center of the community, right here. Church house, right here. This tree right here used to, little pine tree that stood up in front of the church house. Those cottonwoods were little trees.
Oh.
It was well, the building still exists. I told the story. It's the Calico, original part of the Calico Pizza over on Teton Village Road.
I didn't know that.
They've added on to it so much you can't hardly identify it. Yeah. The schoolhouse was just on the other side of this little canal, was the schoolhouse. It was a frame building, two rooms, 8 grades, 1 teacher. It existed until, I'm guessing 62 or 3 or 4, I don't know. I was long gone. He was still going when I was in the Army, yeah, in the late 50s. The church house was it got moved out about 63 or 4 when they disbanded the Grovant Ward, divided Jackson into 1st and 2nd Ward. And my Uncle Clark Moulton was the bishop at the time when they done away with it. Went to Jackson. He was the first bishop of the Jackson 2nd Ward, Clark Moulton. My grandfather, Thomas Alma Moulton, which was the homesteader, he was the bishop of this ward for 30-some years. Oh. There was one before him though, and I can't remember.
30 years.
It was long before my time. But my Uncle Clifton was in between Old Moulton and Young Moulton. Clifton May was the bishop for a little while too, if I remember right. Anyway, this was where we had the dances. If they weren't in the school, they were in the church. I got my early book learning there, and my early church learning here. So you can see how successful they were.
How did they have a dance inside? Did they have a cultural hall or a gymnasium attached to the church?
Just in the church was one room upstairs, portable chairs, you moved back. It had a basement in it, and there was 3 classrooms in the basement and the furnace room. It had an old wood furnace in it. And the boys always got the furnace room, the girls got the 2 classrooms, yeah, 2 classrooms. But if you dug around out there, you could still, I'm sure they just dozed the basement in. There's probably still some evidence of it. The school they cut up, I lost track of it. I don't know what happened to it. I've been told.
How many people were in your church meetings?
15, 20 on a good day. You drew this whole end of the valley here. Yeah.
Right, so lots of them didn't come?
Lots of them were Jack Mormons. I think
so 15 isn't very many for a Mormon community.
Yeah. Oh, maybe there was more than that. I don't know. If you counted all the kids, Evans could have been. I was a little kid. I wasn't paying attention very good. But I do remember the sacrament table was on the south side, and the deacons would sit there in the wintertime. The sun shining in the window would warm you up pretty good. And I can remember going to sleep sitting there at the sacrament table. That's about all I remember. But had a lot of good dances in the church. Just move stuff back and have a dance. My Uncle Clifton had an orchestra. You should remember Clifton May. He played the saxophone. My Aunt Arva played the piano. Donald Kent from up in Kelly, he played the piano. Carly Johnson, which was quite prominent around Jackson. He played, what Carly played? Guitar or something?
Guitar, yeah.
Guitar, yeah. Anybody that, Warren May.
He played the drums.
He played the drums. Uncle Warren played the drums, yeah.
He's still alive, by the way.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's got to be way up in his 90s
About
now.
93.
93, yeah.
So you had a piano in there as
We
well?
had an organ and a piano, and the organ is,
Wow.
I think the piano's out there too. It's in the White House. We'll have a chance to see it, and if Iowa will let us in the house. The organ, it's one you pedal to make air. Piano, yeah, I know the piano's there.
Why did that one house end up staying? Did they not
Because
sell?
Uncle Clark didn't sell that acre. No way. He had a dry farm, the old John Taylor place up here on the bench, right up there. He ended up getting $1 million out of 160 acres, so that's how things changed. Yeah, so our next stop will be out here where we're going to have lunch. It's 1:30 almost. We can have lunch.
So, Dick, who bought? Did Rockefeller buy all this? Is that what happened?
Under the guise of Snake River Land Company.
Yeah.
And then the thing was all planned out long before. He bought all property. It wasn't just here, it was all over.
Yeah.
On the other side of the river and everything. And then it was when they expanded the park, he gave it all to the American people as a park. And it really got under our hide, us natives. Cliff Hansen, you remember him, he was a senator and governor. He hated him worse than all, but we all lived long enough to forgive him. Because we could see what happened to the lower end of the valley, the tourist traps and the development and stuff. We've all forgiven him. It's the
But
best thing that
why
ever-
did it bother you?
We didn't like the government taking all the country over.
But you sold it to them.
Yeah, well,
Couldn't resist the money.
couldn't resist the money. We weren't born with silver spoons in our mouths. So, but we all lived long enough to see, gee whiz, that was the best thing that ever happened.
good.
Or it'd be tourist crap all the way to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So when they tried
Yeah.
to make it, Dick, when they tried to make it a national park, then I heard there was a lot of opposition to a national park, which is why I wrote.
Yeah, but see,
They
that
turned it into a
that was in
monument?
1929 when Grand Teton National Park on the other side of the river was established.
Okay.
We were fine with that. That was great. But couldn't see any reason why it had to come over here. But we all lived long enough to decide to figure out that that was the best thing that ever happened. There's still some private property in Kelly.
Yeah.
There's 1 acre right out here where we're going to stop. And there's some down on the bench down there at the, whatchamacallit's place.
Are those buildings right at the
Robin's.
base of the butte, a little farther around? Do those date back to the era you're talking about, or are those more recent?
The, what's their face? The two
Robinson and Craighead.
Craigheads. No, I remember when the Craigheads moved in here. They were young naturalists out of college and came out here and they bought the property from my Uncle John Moulton. You couldn't figure out what they were. Naturalists? What was that?
What's
You
that?
study animals, you study plants.
Is that the Craighead who studied bears up in Yellowstone
Yeah.
Park?
You
The
guys
one-
were too busy raising animals to study.
Yeah, we were raising them. We were grass and water, cows.
The families that still have like an acre over here and homesteads.
Yeah, some
are
down
they
here at the,
related to the original owners, or they
mostly
just
not, no. No.
didn't stay in the families?
Nope. So we'll go out here and Delray's got lunch ready. Okay?
Dick,
Yeah?
I think the school closed in